They could put clothes that don't even look good. They could put... Anyone could put a book out now. It's a freer market than before. But where's the build? Where's the story? If everybody has a story to tell, why aren't they telling it? And people are rushing with their story. Some people are telling it. Some people are rushing with it, and I was the one who's rushing with it. And it takes time to just slow down, realize what you have, and build it. That's the point. What happens when one product doesn't work? Or for example in wrestling, when the top guys aren't there, what happens? How do you build? And we, as the fans, aren't happy. We as the fans aren't happy. We aren't happy with what's available. We aren't happy with society now. We aren't happy with this. We feel disconnected in a way. We feel upset at the charges, upset at this, upset at that. Yet we don't even know what we're fighting for anymore. And we're feeling this rush, and we don't feel good about it. We're in jobs we don't like, yet we settle because it pays the bills. We settle because it's the only way. We settle and we buy. And I have to ask you, was there any time in your life that you had a dream so bad that you sacrificed for it? You wanted it so bad, but that dream was never fulfilled because you had to make a sacrifice for something. Well, this popped in my head because I was watching Kings of Queens today, and in an old episode, Arthur made the sacrifice for Carrie, his daughter, when he was going to quit his acting. Some decisions like this are made because we're faced with something. We're faced with that dilemma. And when we're going in hyperspeed, we don't realize our dreams anymore. Seems like they're forgotten. After the break, I'm going to talk more about this, and I'm going to try to make sense of everything when I get back.
Why putting all your eggs in one basket isn't a good idea for retirement. Most people like to think what is easy and what is convenient. I am like most people. It was until my life started crashing down on me that I then realized I have to do something and do something quick. I'm like most people who were struck with the fact that they don't have much savings put away for their retirement. It's safe to say many people live for today, while some work smarter. That is why it is good to follow David Bach's philosophy by automating everything, and it will add up. This guarantees you will have money put aside and you can allocate it. It is never safe to have all your eggs in one basket. This is how you can go broke, because one crash and all your money that you put aside can be wiped out. This has happened in times of crisis, such as in 1929, the 1970s, 1987, 2000 and 2001, and 2008. People banked on the financial systems to be there, and they weren't there. They had to do something different. Everyone had to change their ways and start to allocate their money. In times of depression, it challenges you to think outside the box. It forces you to strategize what you can do with your life. In times like this, you reevaluate what's going on with your situation and find a better solution to life's problem. Some resort to peaceful protest, and some may resort to rioting. I know the Baltimore problem now stems from a greater picture of what is going on in America. In times of unrest, there is stress all around the country. It is a great time to make some changes. This is where great innovations happen. It challenges you to make plans to reinvest. This can be through going to college and re-educating yourself. This can be through investing your money on a talent you have that you might want to excel in. And if you're in your 50s and 60s, maybe you want to take up something different than what you've been doing. Maybe it's something you've always wanted to do, but never got the chance to do. Also, with allocation, you can decide how to put aside your money. There is the 401k, and there are IRAs, insurance, bonds, and other investments you can make too. But I will focus on the 401k, the IRAs, insurance, and bonds. In the next chapter, I will discuss the previous history of Social Security, pensions, and the pros and cons of the 401k and 403b.
That was retirement. Start thinking about your retirement by Joseph Vivaldi, narrated by Ken Aiken. It is available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. Also available in paperback and on the Amazon Kindle. Back to the podcast. It's funny how everything ties in. It's funny how everything ties in. And it's ironic how we could be moving at a quick pace but still feel like we're moving nowhere. But we are. I mean, what do? How do we savor those moments? How do we slow down time so we can enjoy it? How do we savor every moment we have and cherish it? How do we learn what we can, do what we can, and live in that moment? I asked that question, and I'm going to raise some topics about that. Because as I mentioned in this podcast already, we are going on hyperspeed. We don't build things anymore. We mass produce them. Everyone has a story. But do we have time to build it anymore? do we have that time? What's going to get that story out? What's going to get that motivation out? Internet is a new wave. And everybody can tell that story. TV is an old system. But, like society, everything needs to be rebuilt. Society needs to be rebuilt, not living on the old archaic measures. We can't be going on like we're going on right now. Because more anger and more speed and more of everything is likely to crash eventually. And as I mentioned, as Ken Aiken narrated and mentioned in retirement, start saving your retirement. Times of crash are where great innovations happen. My friends, we are at a crossroads in society. We're moving so fast now that eventually it's time to slow down. It's time to not just rush things. It's time to be in the moment. And it's time to appreciate life. To appreciate every time you read. To appreciate every time you write. To appreciate every time you're with the one you love. With your family. Even at work. Because when we appreciate life, we truly are in the moment. And we don't want to waste it. We don't want to waste that precious time that we have. We want to live. And we want to be free. Freedom costs sacrifice. But that sacrifice has got to be willing to get you there. And I'm going to end with this note. When we take that time to realize what we have, and we take that time to appreciate, we take that time to build what we want, and we're truly in the moment of it, we could then be grateful. This has been the Money, Business, and Inspiration Podcast. Joseph Vivaldi Podcast. Persevere with your dreams.